Welcome to Kidmissing TV. I am your host, Angelina Wilson, and this is the case of 15-year-old Kenneth K. Kenneth was a First Nations 15-year-old who disappeared on May 18, 1972. He was last seen at an old schoolhouse waiting with other band members to get their $5 federal treaty payment. Last time his sister saw him, she was begging him to go with her and another brother into town. He was Kawakatoose First Nation, and they believe he was killed that night, Treaty Day. His sister believes he was murdered. He was known by the nickname Lenny because his middle name was Leonard. He stopped going to school by the age of 7, which unfortunately was very common on the reservation. He had a close bond with his 4-year-old nephew at the time. And even if he went off for a day or something, he always came home because he loved the horses. And they had a barn full of them, and one of his chores was to take care of the horses. They would see the RCMP about every 4 years. Every 4 to 10 years. The problem is they had very little care for First Nations back in those days. His sister Lorna said it meant nothing to them. Just another Indian kid that must have run away. Yep. Oh, band, meaning his group of Indians. Sorry. Kawakatoose First Nations Chief Lee Ann Keller says the band is open to doing another search for Kenneth. They believe he's buried somewhere in the northern part of the reservation, the First Nation. Our CMP did a search in 1988. They dug out some tunnels where, certain people had made tunnels, but nothing showed up there. His sister Lorna said, "But I was told they were digging in the wrong place and the RCMP wouldn't listen." End quote. They want him to use GPR, ground penetrating radar. And Chief Keller said, "We are a traditional community. So if there is a means or there's something we need to do that would take care of that on our end, he's still on, I guess the band is the tribe, still on the registry as being alive, because until they can prove he isn't, they can't take him off." She said, "They can't take him off until they prove he's gone. I want his remains found so we can mark it, to let the people know we never forgot him. And his brother Alvin says he deserves a burial, a proper burial. It's hard to talk about it. It hurts me," he said. "It's hard to forget. You want to know where he is." In an email to the CBC, which is the Canadian Broadcasting Company, RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, said, quote, Kenneth's disappearance is, quote, "is an open investigation, and given Kenneth K. has not been located, all avenues are considered a possibility, including the potential his disappearance is suspicious." End quote. And the statement continued, "There may be individuals who have information about Kenneth's disappearance, and investigators ask anyone who has information to come forward and report it to police." End quote. Okay, there's more to the statement from police. "In the past 50 years since Kenneth was reported missing, people's personal circumstances may have changed, and if they have information they are now willing to share with regards to this open investigation that they previously did not want to provide, we encourage them to contact police." End quote. Sorry about that. There was like space in between, so I didn't realize. Okay. He was wearing black cowboy boots, blue pants, red shirt, and a cardigan, which is kind of a sweater it's a sweater you wear over a shirt, and it only buttons up like 4 buttons to your belly button or whatever. I don't know of any cardigans for males, but obviously they make them. So I guess where he was getting his $5 payment was at First Nation Treaty Days, which was at the First Nations in Quinton, Saskatchewan. Again, 100 kilometers north of Regina. And I'm surprised that the First Nations police, or maybe they don't, maybe they do it a little different in Canada, because here our Indian reservations are basically their own country, so they have their own police, and our police cannot get involved in their investigations without the permission of the First Nations police. Not First Nations police, of the Indian police. So but evidently they don't have their own police on their reservations. I mean, our regular police, well, I guess technically they're regular police too, but our white police, I don't know how to put it. Well, that wouldn't be right either because some policemen are black, but well, they would say white man. I mean, even though some policemen are black, they would say white man. They can't just go on the reservation and investigate something that happened on the reservation. It doesn't work that way in the U.S. So that's why it's hard to sort of wrap my head around this being investigated by the regular police as it happened on the reservation. So, because that couldn't happen here unless they were invited in. Or unless a non-Indian person disappeared on a reservation. Even then, they'd have to coordinate with Indian police. And I don't say Indian to be disrespectful. They call themselves Indians. American Indian. Anyway, but we have to say Native American now. I can't keep up with the political correctness. At any rate, so for us it's a little bit different in that our reservations are considered sort of their own country, like I said, for those of you not from the United States. But I want to say that he's indigenous or First Nations, male, obviously, only 5 feet 5 inches tall and 108 pounds. He was tiny, but he was still growing. Hair color brown, eye color brown. You can call the F Division of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police Historical Case Unit. They don't even have an agency contact person. Really? And you say it's an ongoing investigation. Maybe the Historical Case Unit is just the unit and they don't assign specific people to cases. That could be. And their phone number is 1-833-502-6861. That's 1-833-502-6861. I have an additional phone number of 639-625-4111. That's 639-625-4111. Or SASK Missing Persons at rcmp-grc.gc.ca. Ugh. And if you're going to email, I would add the case number 2007-2133814. 2007-2133814. Again, like I said, there's two phone numbers. 833-502-6861, 639-625-4111. I'm not going to do a poster for this one because the picture is horrendous. And I believe that this Friday is our last video for January because I can't do one Monday. So, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. I can't do one Monday the 2nd, sorry. It is Monday, So we have Wednesday and Friday. Yeah, and then the following week is the last week of the month where I do all my preparation for the following month. So, and I had to get a new tripod because my tripod fell apart. The old one's actually in here. This is the new one. That is not what my camera looks like, but and it says camera not included. Well, I hope not. For $24. Anyway, yeah, it literally fell to pieces yesterday. So, thank you so much. Please subscribe. We're well on our way to 500. No, we're over 500. I keep forgetting that. We need 750 next by April 9th, and we can do it. I have 3 different channels, so I have 3 different goals juggling. So, and I put myself way over there so I can make a poster, and then I remembered there's no poster for this case. I'll put the picture as the thumbnail. The picture's terrible. So, but you have to remember, you're poor. Excuse me. You're lucky that we're lucky that there's any picture at all. So, oh yeah. Thank you so much for joining me. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day and stay safe. If you're where I am, there's several inches of snow on the ground. Those roads look cleared off. I know they're slick. So just be careful. And I'll see you Wednesday. Bye, guys. God bless you.